Welcome to the show that Matthew Stokes for the UK dubs his favorite waste of time. And you know what? It's my favorite waste of time, too. It's the Blathering Live, episode 173, 172, 173. I only remember because Apple and Spotify want you to know the numbers. Welcome to the show. It's an hour of power. It is 1 hour of calls. We'll start the timer once the calls get in there. Other than that, I got nothing. I got nothing deep. I fed 3 squirrels today. Some little tweets. Some little tiny birds have discovered that there's some feed, some discarded shells, and some unwanted sunflower seeds. So now I'm feeding 2 little tweets, 4 squirrels. A crow discovered my backyard as a source of food. He's interested. The flightless crow has returned. He's currently, at this moment, I wish I could set up a camera, in my front yard again. He's survived almost 2 weeks without being able to fly for more than 2 seconds. So now I'm worried again. And that's all I got in life. Quick check of the news headlines. Oh, dear God, let's not check the news headlines. Calls are going to come in tonight. You want to call in the show? I got a deal for you. Become a Patreon member at patreon.com/catnapsuck. Become a YouTube channel member. Both of those will get you the video versions of, what's that show I do? Monday morning show. I might have to record that tonight. I got a comedy show tomorrow night. On stage tomorrow night, which has got a lot of people checking in here. Addie's wants me to wash those hands. No wildlife touched, but because I occasionally have to clean out the water bowl that I use to give the squirrels water, I wash my hands every time. And I'm a little worried about Squirrely. He's looking a little rough. Like maybe he's had too many peanuts and almonds. I got to maybe put him on a diet. Tonight, one of the things that's different on the show tonight, 8984M is here, J&B. James Holmes checking in for the UK before he falls asleep. I'm drinking beer tonight. Kingsport Cal's in chat here tonight. I'm drinking beer. Cal, I don't do this often. I had a couple of friends over last night. Yeah, David McKay, beer. Like I'm a common American. But this is a Pleasant Pillsbury beer. This is a Pleasant Pills. I had 2 really good friends over last night, high school buddies that I moved to LA with, or they were already in LA. And I moved here 27 years ago, October 15th, 1998. Moved down to join them. We were roommates, best friends from high school, and still in town. And God bless it, it was a good time. Just the 3 of us, some pizza, some rum, some orange juice mixed together in a delightful tropical hit to the head. Casey had beer, fire, memories, nostalgia, which can be dangerous, but we had good times last night. So beer left over. Finally got rid of those because I drank the White Claws, Kingsport Cal. Pleasant Pill. That's what it is. Pleasant Pills, right there. I don't know if it's a local. Lauren Roma says I was a freshman in high school in 1998. Well, I wasn't. That I can guarantee you. So that's it. That's where we're at tonight. Super Chat's already rushing in, and I appreciate that, Matthew. Appreciate that, Addie. Trying to end the month strong around this house. An hour of power is what we're doing here tonight. So what I'm saying is my heart and soul are wide open to you. If you're listening later on the audio version, I appreciate you. Let me know if you listen to the audio version. Having fun putting that out there. We're going to highlight again. Did I perform ASMR for them? I did not. We did relax, though. But those are my 2 friends that I collected baseball cards with in the 90s, so they appreciate my collection now. I do want to highlight for those, if you're local, I would love for you to come out to this show Friday, May 30th, 7:30 p.m. That is inside a week from now. Mark Ellis and I are going to co-headline. We're going to do a comedy press conference after. I can't confirm yet, so I can't announce, but a special guest host for that comedy press conference. I got to get him to clear his afternoon. Also, my friend Sarah D will be on the show. She's just delightful. She is a engineer, a software programming, and she's smarter than me. She's an engineer who also is a great stand-up comic. So if you're local, come on out and see the show, and let me know if you're coming, okay? Let me know. Matthew Stokes is on fire today, supporting Ellis, if nothing else. Ellis needs the support. Ellis needs the support. So there we go. All right. Cameron is young and cranky and cynical beyond my years. That helps. Yeah, Cameron, that's me. It's dangerous, though. One of the things, and we'll start the calls here in a second. I think Addie's first in the gate. So if you want to call in, jump in now. My friends and I, we pulled out our yearbooks. My friend Joel, who's a film professor, film studies professor at a LA-based college here, he brought some of his yearbooks. I have all 6 of my yearbooks, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So we pulled out some yearbooks, and we had fun reading just not only things that people wrote to us, but what we wrote to each other in our yearbooks. It was embarrassing. The one thing, and mine wasn't horrible. None of ours were horrible. We're all intelligent, funny human beings, Joel, Casey, and I. But one of the things about mine, I left this long message in Joel's yearbook, and the self-loathing was so present. I guess I didn't see it. I didn't get how it would hurt me. I did not get how the self-loathing would dominate my adult life from senior year on. I knew I was depressive. I knew I didn't think highly of myself. But I left this message to Joel, who was the first of our group to get a serious girlfriend. And I was like talking, I was like making reference to it. Then I was like, I'm a chicken, and I can't talk to girls, and no one likes me, and I'm so proud of you and happy for you. It was setting in there. My self-loathing and self-doubt was in a message to my friend in our senior yearbook. So I don't know if that's not bad nostalgia, but it's like, oh, okay, we got things to work on. It was present the whole time. Gross Point, Knapsack, indeed. Matthew Stokes, that is one of my favorite movies. I'm on a Christopher Guest run right now. Got a little more free time. The living room's wide open, so I'm watching Christopher Guest movies, some of my all-time favorite movies. Waiting for Guffman is down. Best in Show up next. Then Mighty Win. And For Your Consideration has actually become one of my favorite ones. And then Grosse Pointe Blank's in there as well. It's not a Christopher Guest movie. But I do think we'll watch that. All right, let's do it. Calls are set up. First call in is Addie. Oh, I got to start the timer. Let's do this. Boom. 59 left in the show. Addie, you're up. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Ken. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound like you're busy doing some kind of craft.
That's cheating. You can see me.
Yeah, I can't. What are you crocheting? You knitting? What are you doing?
I am cross-stitching.
What's the difference? Explain the difference between those three things that sound all the same to me.
This giant thing.
Well, it looks like.
Oh gosh.
Is it a Grogu? What is it?
It's a map of the Walt Disney World Resort.
Oh. Okay. I like that. Oh, I see it now. Okay, I moved my cursor. What inspires you to do that?
During COVID, I made one of Disneyland, and I just wanted to complete the pair.
That's fair. Now you just have one of each, one original. Do you duplicate them and sell them on Etsy?
Oh, heavens no. First of all, this thing is like poster size. It's humongous.
Think of the profit. Think of the profit you could make.
Think of the time. I also am pretty sure I'm going to go blind doing it. So,
Well, you and me both. All right. So what is your question tonight here? We got 5832 left. I see what you were going to call. Okay. All right. Yeah. Hit me, Addie.
Dealer's choice, though.
Dealer's choice. All right. Let me get back to your topics tonight. More doc talk or baseball. Well, we're going to do both since it's my show. So hit me with your doc talk.
Okay. So you said you were watching the Nom Doc. Did you finish the Nom Doc? And what were your thoughts?
The Turning Point one?
Yes.
I have not. I have finished the 3rd episode after the Mai Tai massacre. And I was a little just like, I think I need some happier stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah, right. And I love it. It's the I don't mean this is this is the only example I can give. That doc is great. I love the Turning Point series, as we talked about. It's kind of the Reader's Digest version of the Ken Burns Vietnam doc, which is just a piece of art for me. So I'm having fun. I say that to set up that I'm having fun watching Turning Point, as dark as it is, because it's a little more digestible. It's a little bit more of a news report, and I don't know about you, Addie. We talk about docs, but also about history. I like to rewatch docs and history and reread history, not books, but like entries or YouTube videos or Wikipedia entries, because I want all this memorized in my head. I want it drilled into my head what happened. I want to be one of those people that's like, oh, in 1964, Colonel William Westmoreland, and so I'm rewatching the docs, taking notes in my head. Is that weird? Maybe.
I don't think so. I don't do that. I do rewatch docs though.
Right.
Frequently. I am guilty of, I did it especially when I would rewatch The Crown, the Netflix show The Crown.
Right.
I will be on my phone going down the Wikipedia rabbit hole while I'm watching it, of reading more about these people and these events and everything like that.
What drives that in your head? Because I'm trying to put my hands around the idea of why I'm obsessed with this stuff. Of like feeling I need to know it, like I'm going to be suddenly quizzed. Like, what village was the Mai Tai massacre in? It was 2. It was 2. If they'd gone to 5, they would have found the Viet Cong, but they didn't. They went to 2. Like, what is that?
My Lai.
My Lai, yeah. I keep wanting to say Mai Tai. My Lai.
I don't know. For me, I think it's just like a voracious, like, I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to know more.
Do you feel as though you're being tested? By the way, I hear birds in the background. Did anyone hear those birds in the background?
My windows are open and the birds are singing. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize for that. It's beautiful. I got those 2 tweets out there right now.
Yeah, it rained earlier, so now all the birds are going at it. But yeah, no, I never feel like I'm going to be quizzed on it. Probably because that is not the kind of thing my brain is good at. Remembering facts and dates and stuff like that. I'm very good with numbers. I can remember numbers, but not like a fact date sort of thing. It's very...
I'm just wondering...
Trivia, I would not be good at trivia.
Or I'm horrible at numbers, but I'm really good. And this is it. I'm good at trivia. And I think there's a correlation. I am one of those people that does fight against. I point out mansplaining when it happens, but I also think I approach it with a bit of grace, because I do think stereotypically men like me, we just fucking know too much dumb shit and we want to tell someone. So often it's like,
I have that problem.
Yeah.
I have that problem. So I refer to it as like I lack the ability to not answer a question I know the answer to, even if I was not the person asked the question. Like, if I'm sitting somewhere and I overhear somebody ask a question that I know the answer to, I will butt into a stranger's conversation with the answer.
That's fair. I think that's acceptable. Yeah, but I just think about it because, like, this is all connected to me, where I'm like, I've got to rewatch this. I got to rewatch. Like, I've watched the Ken Burns baseball doc, 50 times, and then when I mess up a stat or a name, I'm bad with names and quotes, and that they just go in and out of my brain. But I think and so that way, I have to be careful of mansplaining, and I don't want to be that guy. Especially when I'm talking to a woman, I see it. And once you're aware of it and you see it, my former girlfriend used to run a mall. It's like 10, 15 years ago. And like the amount of like contractors who would try to like, well, let me tell you something, little lady. It's like she helped build a mall. Like she could tell them what to do. And it's just the inherent sexism. But the problem is I have to always, be like, well, John McGraw, he said this as the Giants manager, and no one cares. No one cares.
It's only, Ken, in my opinion, as a woman, and I can be wrong, but in my opinion, it's only mansplaining if you're telling me something I know more about.
Right.
So, like, if you're just spitting out facts to me about a Vietnam documentary you watched that I don't remember or have never seen, I don't consider that mansplaining. I consider that having a conversation.
And this is fascinating to me, and I think I appreciate your insights on this. Is it... So I hear what you're saying. I agree with that take on it. But part of the problem is just the natural assumption that you would know less than me, right? Like it's just we're entering a conversation and suddenly I'm like, oh, let me tell you, little lady, about why birds fly. And it's like that's where it starts wrong. But you know, I can fight it every
But
day.
if you did that, but you would also do that to a man, and I think the difference is a man's more likely to tell you he already knew that.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
So it's a little bit on me to tell you that I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
It'd be another thing if you walked up to me and I informed you that I was a Vietnam War historian and you started explaining things you knew from watching Vietnam War docs.
Right.
That's
or countered you.
Problematic.
Yeah, like countered you. If you said something, I was like, well, now let me tell you something. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. But then we all have like areas of expertise. Like obviously when it comes to like Star Wars stuff, like, I'm either asked a lot, but sometimes like I had an incident in a green room at a comedy club. There was a younger female comic. It was a nerd related show. She's a Star Wars fan. And she said something about the prequels negatively, which was, I was kind of surprised at some. She was like 25, 26. I'm so used to now having the prequel generation be positive about the films. And she said something kind of disparaging, and I immediately went into podcast mode. And she didn't know me that well. We had a mutual friend, Jen Sturger, but and Sturger was in the room, but she was talking to someone else. And I just immediately stopped because I had every right to be like, let me tell you how you're wrong. Let me tell you why you've misread the film. Let me tell you blah, 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 blah. I'm Force Center. But I was like, at this point, she just knows this older man with a gray beard is telling her how she's wrong about something she has an opinion on. So I immediately just was like, carry on. Have a good day. So fair. I'm trying. Fair. All I'm saying, Addie, I'm trying.
And Ken, as someone who gets mansplained a lot because of the field I am in,
sure,
I give you a lot of credit for being aware of it and for trying.
That's all I can do. That's all I can do, David Mackay, is try.
I have my next...
That bird is perfect. I want your next question. That bird is perfectly timed. It's like you're in a Disney movie doing Disney cross sticking. Stitching.
I'm so sorry.
Sticking. Anyways, you had another question about baseball?
I do, right? But before we change subjects, new doc recommendation. Literally finished it minutes before the show started.
Yeah.
The American Manhunt for Osama bin Laden.
That's next on my list. Christian Ruvacaba and I. Oh yeah, he texted me.
I cried more than once. Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
Interesting. Curious.
Oh, I cry when people talk about September 11th. Like it's emotional.
Yeah. Speaking of New York, that's a transition. Figure Report's here. Hey, everyone, commercial break. Follow my friend Michael. That's Mikey, the Figure Report. He does great toy reviews. He has a podcast that I was just on called Figures Not Included. Check it out. Mikey, you scoundrel, get out here. Let's hug and have cheese toast. All right, Addie, you have a second question, and I'm excited to hear it.
I do. I'm keeping a list of questions for you all. For nights like this. But anyway, here's the one I'm going to go with tonight. What is one of your favorite, or dare I say best, stadium needle drops? So like you're watching a game and I want to know the person whose job it is to just randomly play music in a baseball stadium. I've been watching a lot of baseball and I have started to notice some really great, not walkout music, but like the random interludes when you're like between pitches to like get the crowd going or whatever. I have a favorite that has emerged at Steinbrenner Field this season, but I'm curious if you have one.
This is a great question. I'm racking my brain. Well, mostly for me, it'll be Dodger Stadium or Anaheim. Anaheim, I can't say it's a needle drop in what you're saying. They would play the Jaws theme when the Rally Monkey was showing up. And if no one really understands or knows the Rally Monkey, look it up. It was big in the early 2000s when they went to the World Series and they won. And it was a monkey in an Angels uniform that would appear on the big screen and he'd rally the fans. Dear God, I love baseball. And it would start to show up with like Jaws music and like suspenseful music and everything. And I love that. I know what you're kind of talking about a foul ball, then there'd be a sound, everything. Like Bob O'Reilly shows up at baseball games a lot. and I love that. I also was blessed to go to Dodger Stadium, and I'll wrap my answer here for you, Eddie, so you can answer. But I was blessed to go to Dodger Stadium during the life and times of Nancy B., the great organist, and she was the best, and was made it a lot of fun.
So it's funny. The Jaws theme is not my answer, but at Steinbrenner Field, I've noticed they play the Jaws theme whenever the count is full.
Oh, that's great.
Before the next pitch. But my favorite one that has emerged is whenever a challenge is made where the call went in the Rays' favor and they have challenged the call, they are playing the Beatles' Let It Be.
Well, that's sweet. And they got to pay a lot for those rights.
So it's just they're, they don't want the call to be overturned, and it's just Paul McCartney saying, "Let it be, let it be."
Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. I was just singing some Wings in a grocery store. Love it. That's a great. I love that you picked that up, Addie. It's one of my favorite things of going to games live. Like baseball is a pastoral game, indeed. But the sounds, what they do to keep the fans not entertained like it needs it, but just what happened there?
He hit a home run, 3-run home run.
Who hit a home run? Jesus.
Junior
that reaction had to be Jesus of Nazareth that hit a home run.
No, it's just the bottom of the first. We usually don't score this early.
Okay. Who the Rays playing tonight? Live updates.
The Blue Jays.
Toronto. I like them. Addie, I got 46 minutes left. I'm going to get to Jared. You share that cross stitch in the Blathering Discord, okay?
I will.
Addie, check it in with the birds. I love the sound of those birds in the background there. 8984M says, love Otani's walk-up song, if that counts. It feels like a great reset. I'll have Brady share that when he calls in. All right, 45 minutes. I want to shout out our buddy Old Handsaw. Check it in chat. Miss my buddy Old Handsaw there. He's been busy doing a lot of things in life. And he's currently joined the Symphony of Cicadas in southern Indiana. My time in Tennessee, a lot of cicadas out there, a lot of sounds in the jungles of Tennessee. Kingsport Cat will tell you about. Calling on the show now is our friend Shirtless Jared, the TIE pilot. He's in a shirt tonight, actually. But 45 minutes left in the hour of power calls. Jared, happy to have you here. Publicly thanking you again for bullying me into firing up Castle Talk with Alden again on Friday. A lot of fun. Thank you, sir.
Oh, of course. When as they say, bullying works, and it was great to see you boys back. It was great to hear the old intro of the Ken and Matt back again.
Oh, you talk about from the southernmost point of Dorne?
Yep.
Okay. We should have recorded this, Alden and I. It took both of us 6 minutes to remember what it was. And there's before the show, I was on a piece of paper. I was like, do you remember it? It's from the Essos down. He's like, no, it's from the lands of always. I was like, no, wait, it starts with Dorne, right? And then it was comical. But we're back, baby. We're back. We're back. And then he couldn't remember because he was like, well, I did a different one for Willow. We did a different one for Rings of Power. We tried to make that work, and it was silly. And intros are old. I'm such an old broadcaster. It's probably not needed, but it was fun. Thank you, sir.
No. The intro is always needed. It's like core memory.
Yeah, perfect. Love that. David says, I've only had it recorded somewhere. David, we don't have it recorded somewhere. We don't. We weren't running tape. We weren't running audio or video. It was just in the StreamYard before. Next time. But David's right. I should somehow run because you can't. Okay. You can't record, then go live. You can only do one or the other. All right.
See,
Dave,
what you do is you had the vertical live going separate on the side. That's like the pre-show.
Oh, look at you. Look at you producing the show, asking us important questions. Jared, what's going on? Yeah, 43 minutes left. You got some time to ask a question or two.
Yeah, no, I got you. So I was going to see maybe we could do one or both of them, but I was wondering, what was the best decade for either or sports logos, or album covers? 70s, 80s, 90s, aughts.
Okay.
Which decade? Which decade had them best sports logos and or album covers?
Okay, so Old Handsaw, I hope he's still in chat. I know he's a busy guy. There's a great doc out there about the company that did all the album covers, and I would say it's the 1970s for album covers. Now, the 60s kind of set the template, and I think for modern rock album covers and everything. But I think the 70s. Here's the thing: it's the best decade, Jared. But I hate most of them because it's so excessive. It's so it's stadium rock gods. It's McCartney hiring the company. And God, I cannot forget the name of the company that there's the doc that's based off of. See, I got to rewatch it and take notes. For one of I think it's the Wings' greatest hits album. McCartney wanted this thing on a top of a snowy like Himalayan mountain. It was this little statue with arms and everything hanging on it, and so they sent the photographer out there. A lot of money. They had to land this plane or a helicopter, and no room. You had to like jump out of it. It's this fantastic story. The photographer's telling the story, and they take this picture. It is actually, Jared, on top of this mountain in the snow, altitude unmeasurable. It's so high in the sky. On the album cover, it just looks like someone's backyard. It just looks. It's just like you could have done this in Cleveland. So therefore, I think it's both the best decade because it produced some of the most excessive, unnecessary, wonderfully memorable album covers.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But I look. The '90s has some great album covers, but the problem is, by then there's CD covers, which I think just are artistic, but album covers are different. Album covers are frameable. I have some album covers. I have some actual albums framed. I have my Beatles stuff, and I love a good album. Like I have the Harlequin album from Gaga in my living room right now on display, and it's just a wonderful shot and artistic photo, and it's special when it's an LP. So that's why 80s. A lot of people might. I think Laser Bolt's answering 80s. Oh, Old Hands says Hypnosis is the company. Squaring the Circle is the doc. It's a fast. If you're a rock doc fan or just a doc fan, I highly recommend Squaring the Circle. Old Hands recommended it to me. It's fantastic, but it is tragic that we've lost it, and I think they tell us that I think it's in the doc or it's just an interview where Noel Gallagher of Oasis was talking to his daughters or his kids and was like, yeah, I got to go shoot for the album cover today. And they're like, what's that? And he the album cover for like the album putting out. Well, yeah, but why do you need an album cover? And he basically had to pull out his phone and point at a tiny little tiny thumbnail type picture and say, that's an album cover. It used to cost a lot of money and be very important. And
oh yeah,
now we don't.
It's as a guy who really grew up in the blockbuster days of where I got my love for like horror movies, cover art is everything. That makes you want to watch. That makes you want to watch and or listen to some really awful things and defend it because of it.
Let me ask you, as someone currently in a band and has played music, the album art, even if it's not as important, it's still fun. When we were putting together the art for the Moon Ager stuff, and Old Handsaw was our art director, and he put this wonderful simplistic stuff, worked with what we had, worked with what he had in his studio, and it's some of my favorite stuff. I was so happy to have just some great album art. But do you as a band, it's still treated with the same respect, right?
It's funny because it is, as far as our end, like when we were getting our logo together and like going back and forth and like 5 or 6 different ones and stuff. Oh yeah, the debates and everything we had, and not one promoter, fan, person has ever negatively or positively said anything.
No reaction.
And you know what though? I feel like that's the best. No reaction is probably a good reaction. I feel like.
Yes. No, I love it. Do you guys take band photos where you're all doing like all right, one of us has got to look off like plaintively, like just one of you look off, one of you look to the sky, and one of you be directly at the camera. Like, let's do this. Let's do it black and white.
We take the most awkward because none of us know what the hell to do. I usually just end up hugging my bass player and whatnot.
You're the hugger. Yes. There's always a hugger. There's the Card. There's Keith Moon. There's that, and then there's Ringo, and then there's someone's got to you got to have the lead singer doing the half cocked kind of like.
Oh no! Our lead singer, love him. He's obsessed with doing what is it? The blue steel from Zoolander.
Yeah, that. I love that. So and someone can do like just like the lean. Oh, that's great. I I love band photos, and I've taken some because I thought I was going to be a better photographer than I was. I wasn't horrible, but I took some photos for my friend's band. And it was just, and I had, all right, wait, Jeff, you get in the front. All right, Caleb, you get like 4 feet back. All right, you grab that pipe. Why? Just grab it. Just grab
Exactly.
it. We're in a rock band.
Do not ask logical questions ever.
Yes. And as far as your second question was the best decade for Major League Baseball logos,
or just sports logos in general.
man, that might be the 60s for me. I personally do not like a lot of the aesthetics of specifically Major League Baseball in the 70s and 80s. I really think it's just shitty. I really think it's just really bad uniforms, really over the top. And then in the early 80s, every team other than like the Dodgers and Yankees had like a cyan uniform that was just as puke blue, like dull blue. Braves, Cardinals, all these teams, they all look the same. The Twins. And I hate it. And some of the Twins brought back their like 80s uniforms for like Sundays, and I'm like, they're horrible. It's like when I see someone wearing bell bottoms. I was like, we as a society woke up from that, so you don't have to. Like, why do this? And I think 70s and 80s baseball looks like shite. I really think it does. I think from 89 on, Major League Baseball's got some great logos and great uniforms. Mid 90s had some misfires. I know I'm talking about uniforms for logos. Mid 90s had a horrible. Everyone, let's wear batting practice jerseys for a lot of the games. I hated that. And I don't like a lot of the city select or whatever they are uniforms now. But I think I might have to go to the 60s because there was a little more. They were a little more involved. It wasn't just like a White Sox man, like that's like a square and a rectangle and a circle. It was like a dude. It was like a detailed drawing of an Oriole. It actually looked like an Oriole. So I think I'll go that decade.
As a hockey guy, I got to go for the 90s. Those 90s hockey logos just hit different.
It's a good decade. I'll tell you, baseball, follow, if you go to 1987, most of the teams start to switch their logos or their uniforms and logos at 87. And even though we've had drastic changes, new teams come in, everything, I think baseball's been living in that aesthetic from 87, 88, 89 on. The A's switched to their uniforms. The Phillies adapt a little bit later on in the 90s to more of classic, but it's fascinating. Do I know too much about this? Yes.
What decade for baseball had the goofy looking caps where it was almost like an elastic band?
80s, like 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
It was the shit stuff, man. Like the Pirates wore the big hats with 19 stars on them, which is the We Are Family thing. I got it. Look at the Astros uniforms.
That's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah, the White Sox. And the White Sox had some of the worst uniforms in history all through that era. Fascinating time. But you know what remained the same? The Yankees and the Dodgers. That's why we're the best. The Red Sox, they got into it a bit. The 70s Red Sox uniforms fascinate me, Jared, because they're not classic, but they're classic, and they stayed with the times, but they kept their aesthetic. So I do respect the Red Sox for that.
We're always a step ahead of the curve.
There you go. Well, yeah, I guess. All right. 34 minutes left, Jared. Thanks for the call, and we'll see you later in the week for more.
Yeah, of course. Stay safe, brother.
All right, Jared, the Tide Pilot, aka the bass player, or one of the he's hugging his bass player, the huggy guy from Concept of a Plan. All right, Addie says this. Oh man, let's talk about current ugly uniforms. The Padres have some horrendous neon. Oh yeah, that's the City Select. The City Select uniforms, man. I can't do that. I can't do that. They're not good. They're not good. A lot of people love the '90s stuff. Romo says 90s NHL and some classics. Sharks old school jerseys. Oh, yeah, I love that. Jerry Garza is here. What's up, Jerry? Good to see you here in chat again. 90s sports logo overall was awesome. James of the UK check. Sorry to say baseball looks a bit mince. Try tossing some logs for real sport. I don't disagree with that. I want to shout out Matthew Stokes, who's just on fire tonight, taking away the moments to make up a dull day. Matthew, I'm glad you're here. That's a very, very, very generous super chat, and I really appreciate you helping to support the show and what we do here. It does mean a lot. You guys are great out there. Appreciate all the support. All right, we got 33 minutes left in the calls tonight. This is, I think, for the most part, our Saturday shows are going to be this: an hour of power. I come in, we jump in. You got a bit of a time limit on your calls, and then I can get on with my life, especially if I got a comedy show. I do have a comedy show tomorrow, 5 o'clock over at Flappers, doing one of their nerd-centric shows. And then again next Friday. I'd love to see some of you out here if you're local. Yeah, okay, you're the guitar player. Jared, why do I keep saying you're the bass player? Maybe it's because you fell down that skateboard ramp, and I'm like, only a bass player could keep the boom, boom, boom. Jared, we got to talk bass. What do you think of Vic DeAngelis of Måneskin? I've been going down the Reels rabbit hole on her. Fascinating. That band fascinates me, and I don't even know if I like their music. All right. Different conversation. All right. Brady's on the phone tonight. We've got Brady checking in. Brady is here to talk about whatever he wants. But Brady, you've got some stuff in mind about May birthdays. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. Just coming back from Mission Impossible. Yeah, had a great time.
What's that? Mission Impossible, the final one, or what's it called?
Final Reckoning.
The Final Reckoning. And quick out of the theater, non-spoiler reaction review.
Man, Tom Cruise is a crazy man.
That's what we're talking about on Anytime on Friday. There you go. There you go. Okay. There you go, everybody. That is the closest I'll get to reaction content, is out of the theater with Brady. All right. All right. It's all right. Brady, what's on your mind tonight?
So, yeah, I just wanted to call about May birthdays.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I feel like there's a lot of May birthdays.
In your friend group or life, what do you feel? What do you think?
Life in general. I was talking about, I was talking with some friends, just like, yeah, it's just me. Are you tired of birthday parties? It's just May. I just had one week after another, and it's just all.
Do you think this is because, in general, fornication happens after the fall, but before the winter holidays? Now this is just the time. Do you think that's what it is? Is there some science behind this, Brady?
I don't want to think about that because I also have a May birthday. So,
don't think about that, Brady. Just think about your neighbors or something. I don't know. Oh, yeah. You're like Jerry Garcia. You got to stay warm, and the summer's too hot. Like, Sorry, Brady. That ain't happening in the summer. Nope. Wait till the winter. All right. Well, so let me ask you this question. If you have a lot of friends in your friend group who are having birthday parties, are you starting to turn some down? Do you try to attend all of them? What do you do with that?
I can't reject the invitation. I'm not at that point where I have too many invitations. So that's at least there.
So you need to go. You need to clock in.
Yeah, and because I also have my own birthday, right?
When is your birthday? Did we miss it?
No, it's today.
Today is Brady's birthday. Today is Brady's birthday, everybody. Oh my God, a mic drop on that. Okay, Brady. What can we do for you? What are you talking about? You got to announce this.
Nah, it's okay. I'm keeping it low key for this reason. I'm so tired from the birthday parties. I'm just like, okay, on my own, I'm just gonna chill. But I'll call Ken,
Well, I'm honored. I'm absolutely honored. But we gotta. I feel like something's gotta happen. What are you doing? Okay, even if you're not having a big party or you're not, did you do something nice for yourself today?
Yeah, I went to see Mission Impossible.
That was it. A movie? A movie?
I went to Universal City. I went on the big screen.
Oh, what is that up there? Is it AMC?
AMC, I think the true IMAX screen.
Mm-hmm.
And
one of the only true IMAXs in town.
Yeah, one of the few ones. Yeah, and got myself a free popcorn and a drink.
Okay, but then you get out of the theater and you come here. But did you, Brady? I wanted we need to take you to a dinner. You should have gone to Bubba Gump Shrimp. What do you do to treat yourself?
My sister, it was really nice. My sister is across the country. I was surprised when I got back. I got a DoorDash Like I ran into a DoorDash person's like, I got a cake for you, and I was like, whoa, what's up?
Oh, see.
So that was very nice.
Yeah, David McKay's right. You should go to a key party tonight. But what kind of cake did you get? What's a Brady cake?
Usually I love a carrot cake, but I'm guessing they don't really have carrot cake anymore. So I just got a good old chocolate cake.
Okay. You know what? I got to tell you something. I used to despise carrot cake as a kid.
Oh,
And then one time something switched, and I was like, I think carrot cake is a low key favorite of mine. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's like the carrot is sweet too, and it's got a little bit of I don't know, cinnamon and nutmeg with the frosting.
Yeah, it's the nutmeg. You know what the key, Brady? It's the nutmeg. It brings a little fun into the party, and it disguises the veggies. And yeah, okay. I think we're in the same spot on that. But good classic chocolate. I like a lemon cake. I just had a lemon cake last week at the party I was at.
Yeah, see, a lot of May birthdays, right?
Yeah, a lot of people say Sean's got a great. We got to figure out regional Zoc parties, which are not key parties. They're different. Well, Brady, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, happy birthday to you, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
You have just become such a wonderful staple in not only this community, but the Force Center community. You bring just such insight, intelligence, warmth. You're such a good sport when we tease you on things, but you're such a presence in both communities. And when the Force Center one can get a little wild, I know people like you are there to kind of keep the calm and just be a loving presence in it. So really appreciate you. Seeing you in person a couple times has just been wonderful every time. So I hope to have that happen again soon.
Yeah,
and maybe we'll have a carrot cake. Okay, buddy? Happy birthday.
Also, I just have one question. I need to call in with a question.
Yep.
So this birthday was the last one where I gained something. In terms of car insurance. That's the one last thing I gained. And every birthday from now on, I gotta ask: is it all downhill from here?
You can rent cars. That was last year, right? Now you're on your own car insurance.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's not all downhill from here. It feels like that. It feels like that sometimes. Look, next year 50 is going to be a tough one for me, I'm sure, but at the same time, I think I'm ready for it. Life has definitely said you're going to have a different decade than you've had for the last decade here in the 40s, so I have to embrace the change. No, I honestly think there's things that you're losing. There's time you're losing. There's body mobility you're losing. I get up every morning with a neck that can barely move. But you know what, Brady? Each birthday has been a celebration of the great gift of moving forward. So that sounds sappy, but I believe it.
That is nice. I'm looking forward to the next 10 years, 15 years, hopefully next 50 years,
Oh, you're going to have a long run. But the 30s are such a good decade. And again, society, it's different for a lot of different folks, and it's easier for me as a man to say 50 is going to be great, and for a woman it's a little bit more, society makes it more of a challenge than it should be, which is unfortunate, but I think we're in different and better times, so there's a lot of serious discussions to be had around age and the reaction to age. But you are entering slowly, you're entering the last half of what I think the 20s are a bit of a struggle. I think the 20s are a decade in which you know who you want to be maybe, but you can't get there yet. It's time and money and experience that still needs to come. The 30s, who you are really truly starts to emerge. So Brady, you're geared up. You're ready for a great decade and a half.
Oh, thank you for the kind words. And yeah, I agree. The 20s aren't what people make them out to be in the movies,
Yeah, that's like media, the marketing. Yeah, it makes it into the best of the times. I think it's sometimes the worst of times, and it gets better. Great. Brady, thank you. 23 minutes left in the calls. I appreciate you, okay?
And thank you. And thank you for letting me take this time.
As always. Jerry Garza says, after turning 30, you feel a weight lift off of you. Yeah, new weights do emerge, for sure. Like I said, easier said than done for me right now when it comes to turning that next decade. But, I just went to a great 50th birthday party, and it's not the age it used to be. So Laserbolt says, right, I'm such a dumb asshole in my 20s. Love it. All right, we got a couple more calls lined up. We got 23 minutes left in the calls. If you want a call, if you want to get a call in, become a YouTube channel member or a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/catnapsock. We appreciate that. All right, Ethan calling in, Svetnik1138. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How's it going, Ken?
You know what? I got some leftover pizza waiting for me after this. I got some work to do tonight. It's kind of a work night, but leftover pizza raises the spirits.
I mean, yeah, now you're eating that cold, right?
I'm gonna heat it up. I got the stove top thing. I have this thing I put down, a flat like thing that warms up. It's no cold.
All right, that's fine. Okay, well, first, first I want to say thank you for the recommendation you gave me last Saturday for music.
The vaccines, yes,
that worked out great.
Love
Found a couple other bands to listen to off of that.
Nice.
It was just right up my alley. That was perfect.
Perfect.
And then kind of off of that, so is it just me, or has the piano kind of gone out of style when it comes to rock music?
Yeah.
Because I like a nice kind of like jazzy, bluesy kind of piano mixed in there.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm having a hard time finding anybody that, does that.
You know what? This is a great observation. I don't know all the bands out there not using or using pianos, but, and I'll say, you're saying specifically piano. I'll say keyboards as well, but that's different. I know it's different.
No, for sure.
But
yeah, either really.
Either, but that's why I'm a big fan of The Last Dinner Party. One of the key things in their musical compositions is the keys, is the piano, it's the keyboard. They have a permanent on stage keyboardist, pianist.
Okay.
And
what was the name of that? What was that name again?
The Last Dinner Party, UK band.
Dinner Party.
Okay. Bunch of young women and humans making some wonderful music. Their biggest hit is "Nothing Matters." Love that tune, and "Sinners" is the other one. Absolutely love, and that has a big keyboard riff in it. But it's definitely, I think we got a lot of stuff in the '70s with that. Then we got the keys of the '80s, the guitars even, and that stuff. That's not always my favorite, but yet I think I love it more now, and I love bands. I've had a weird relationship with the '80s. I didn't grow up with '80s music because I wasn't allowed to, and so when I got into music in the '90s, to me, like the '90s was the alternative to what had come before, not just hair bands, but just the vibe of the '80s. So I always kind of was a little antagonistical towards the '80s, but I think it's old handsaws rubbed off on me. I think old handsaw's always got great recommendations of bands from the '80s, and I love U2 and Replacements and all that kind of stuff. But he'll be like, hey, here's this one that I've grown to love it, and that's why I think I love bands like Child Seat, who is this wonderful band out of LA. I see the guitarist hiking all the time in Griffith Park. They're a great band. I've seen them live, and they are totally from the '80s, even though most of the members are in their 20s. So it's
that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I've been trying to find, because, like, for me growing up, my dad is huge into like Journey, Def Leppard, Styx, REO Speedwagon, like all of those. And I grew up, like, even like as a teenager, going with him to shows. So I've seen most of those bands. And so I really enjoy that kind of music. But it's really hard to find anybody like modern who, contemporary today, that does anything like it. I've found a few here and there, but they're like European or something. Like there's these guys Streetlight that I found that are pretty good. But
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I will say Child Seat is more reminiscent of Berlin or that psychedelic furs stuff versus the big stadium rockers of the '80s. because I'm with you. I don't know those off the hand. There's this band, this act, The Dare. I just played them on Pop Rock and Radio last week. They had a very 80s inspired song as well. Yeah, so check that out. But yeah, we will go on a search for piano based 80s inspired stadium bands.
Sweet.
Love that. I'm so happy you enjoyed the mixes.
Yeah, of course. I look forward to later going back and re-listening to this, picking out all the names you said, and going through them all through the week. So
check out The Last Dinner Party. Awaken your inner lesbian. Quite frankly, that's what's the center of the band. But here, do me a favor. Go to YouTube and type in The Last Dinner Party. Nothing Matters. Glastonbury 2024. It is the definitive performance of that song live, and I think it'll endear the band to you. That's a good starting point, and then dive into the album.
All right, perfect. All right, appreciate it, Ken.
All right, thank you. 17 minutes left in the show. A lot of great recommendations of music talk there, and yeah, old Handsaw reminds us new Sparks album dropped yesterday. Love the Sparks, but my deeper appreciation of them comes from Old Handsaw's love of the band. I was always familiar with them by name and maybe visual, but that Edgar Wright doc on Sparks is still one of my favorite docs. And talk about tears of inspiration and tears of joy and sadness that also wrapped into some of their story. Highly recommend that doc and that band. Yeah, so, okay, 80s music had a unique sound that's not found a lot anymore. But I'm telling you, Romo, check out Child Seat. You listened to them on Pop Rock and Radio when it was live. Check out Child Seat if you like that kind of, if you like GTA 3's soundtrack, you'll love Child Seat. Love that there. All right, we've got 16 more minutes left in the show, which means it's time to step it up a little bit here, raise the stakes. Calling in from Kingsport, Tennessee. That's right, the man, the myth, the legend, the Leon Black to my Larry David. It is Kingsport Kyle. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, kid?
You know what, Kingsport Kyle? I'm going to answer you sincerely and honestly. Woke up a little sad today. Woke up missing my dog. Had a bit of a cry, but now I'm here with all of you, and I feel great.
Well, you got the squirrels, you got all that stuff going on. I do stand behind what Addie said. Please wash your hands.
I wash them. I'm very aware. I'm slightly worried about Squirrely's coat. His fur is looking a little ragged these days. I don't know if it's the almonds, I don't know if it's the peanuts or the rabies, but I'm going to stay careful for all of you.
Something stuck out to me. You tried to give the squirrels sunflower seeds and they rejected them?
Yeah, but they were deshelled. They were I looked up what squirrels like, and there was a lot of options, including fruit. So I had like strawberries and bananas. They rejected that. And then sunflower seeds, but I had the deshelled sunflower seeds, and it just seems like they almost like they don't see them. But the birds, the little tweet birds, are like, hey, guys, there's some sunflower seeds here. So they're loving them. So I'm sticking from now on to save money. I'm going to just stick to unsalted peanuts and unsalted almonds.
Well, it's funny, Ken, because I was talking on the backstage, Blathering backstage, about clearing off my deck, and now I cleared off my deck.
Yeah.
I've got squirrels coming around, and I haven't tried to feed them yet. But
I think you should, Cal.
Well, they come around. What?
Okay, I think you should feed the squirrels, videotape it, and then we can all share squirrel feeding videos here. This will be Squirrel Center from now on.
Well, here's the thing. When I cleared it off, I found I did retain my old bird feeder. I have a bird feeder.
Okay.
And I found the bird seed in the house, and I put it in the bird feeder. And I put it out there.
What a soul! What a sweet soul you are, Cal.
Well, where I moved, I had plants on the deck, and they brought a lot of birds there. But what I didn't know that the plants brought the birds there. Anyway, so it's not being used. So the other day, I opened the curtain, and there's a squirrel just straight up in the bird feeder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you said. Yeah,
bird feeder is on top of a tree stump, a high tree stump. Anyway, it doesn't. But no, it's just funny that they started coming around after I cleared everything off. Now they're coming around. But I don't know. I got some sunflower seeds, and when you said that, anyway,
Try it, but you have the actual shells, right?
yeah, they're in shell. They're in
Yeah.
shell, and also they are dill pickle flavor, my man. Yeah.
Well, that might okay. Give it a try because I had put down some roasted garlic pecans or something that was left, and
Yeah.
this whole journey started where we had put down pecans, and the squirrels were like, "Holy crap, these are great!" So I had put these roasted garlic something pecans, completely rejected. I had to clean them up and throw them away. So the dill pickle, I don't know. They're not baseball players, Cal. They're squirrels.
On a side note, though, do you enjoy sunflower seeds? Do you like eating them?
I don't. When I was playing ball, I used to try the sunflower seeds. It's too much work. I like the salt. I like salty things. Giggity. But it was too much work to crack them on one side of your mouth and move to the other side, spit out the shell, eat what remains. Too much work, Cal. I like the
It is
taste.
fun. It is
Yep.
fun. Well,
I was more of I was a big league chew kid.
oh hell yeah! Great, great big league too, man. I could go through one of those things, and anyway, it doesn't matter. I was a kid. You just keep doing, you almost eat that stuff. Anyway, it's so freaking good. Anyway, Ken, I've discovered
Mm-hmm.
this is my question here. I discovered this place I discovered a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant that
Okay.
has been here in my vicinity for a long time that I did not know of. And
Okay.
I was just looking on Google because I wanted something different. I'm tired of eating the same stuff. I know you know what I'm talking about. You go to
I
these
know
same
what you're talking about.
restaurants.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And I found this place not too far from me. And so I go there. And I mean, it's just they're straight up Latino. They're just the only person. There's only one person, and he's the
Yeah.
cash register guy that speaks English.
Right.
You know,
Right. Okay.
and
Okay.
and I found this place, and they make the greatest burritos. They're not like
Well, now we talking? Is this Kingsport? Is it Bristol? Is it Johnson City?
this is in the Tri City area.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
little bit down from Kingsport. It's a little bit down. You got Kingsport, Mount Carmel, Churchill. It's in that vicinity.
Okay. I'm
I don't
curious.
want to get the place way away because I
Oh,
don't
I know.
want
No one in chat's gonna go out here. What are you afraid of here? I'm not gonna give your address. No one here's gonna look. If 898 flies out to the Tri Cities airport to steal your restaurant, that's a good on him.
that would be great. I'd
The
love
one-
to.
so the one I used to go with my girlfriend at the time was called El Torito, which of course is a chain out here, at least in California. I'm sure other places as well, but it wasn't. It was a family owned a Mexican family in Tennessee opened this place called El Torito. So I'm just wondering if it's the same spot. But remember, I had said that was underwhelming Mexican food because I think they thought they could get away with it until two Californians showed up and were like, "Oh, we know what you're doing, and we like it that you're making money off of this." But that I was just wondering.
No, it's not the same place. It might be in the vicinity of that, but no, this
Look at this. Addie says, "I'll be there this summer. I need a recommendation, Cal. We've
well,
got to get Addie to that Cheddar's."
well, that's Cheddar's in Kingsport, Tennessee. There's also a Applebee's. There's Old Charlie's. Well, no, I'm sorry, Old Charlie's closed down. But yeah, she can go to Kingsport and have a ball. I'm sure Addie is familiar with Kingsport. She's mentioned it before. She knows where to go. But this
All
this
right,
Mexican place is not the place, not like your place. I mean, this food was
it's good.
fantastic. It's amazing.
Oh, I want
It's
to go.
amazing, and it's not that it doesn't cost that much. The
Okay.
burritos are not like your longer burritos. They're kind of shorter, but they're
Hmm.
filled. They cut them in two to where you can enjoy it into two halves. You can
Oh,
save
I
a half.
love that.
That's how thick these burritos are.
Cal, you're turning me on with this. I absolutely
It's
love
amazing.
a short, thick burrito in my hand and mouth. I absolutely am with you.
Yeah, I understand that. But yes, and and I keep going now. I discovered it like 2 weeks ago, and I've been there about 4 times now. Well,
Okay.
yeah, 4 times.
Well, I'll tell
And
you what. I'll tell you
yeah,
what. I'll tell you what, Cal. I'm hoping, and everyone out there listening to me, pray or send vibes or pray to Iron Man. There's a job that I possibly I'm still up for. I haven't got a no. It's just taking a while. If I get it, I'm going to be able to work remotely more. Cal, I'm flying out. I'm going to that Tri-Cities airport. I'll get my connecting flight in Atlanta. I'll take a little hopper and we'll go over to and then we're going to meet at that restaurant.
Well, I mean, wherever you want to meet, Ken. If you get the time, you come out here. I can show you around. I can show you around. You gotta let me know so I can be off work. But also, I do want to tell you really quick. Bristol, there's a Hard Rock Cafe in Bristol, Tennessee.
Okay.
Jay Leno performed there not too long ago. If you can talk to Mark Ellis, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Just maybe, just look up. I'm not telling you to promise me anything. Just tell Mark Ellis to look up Bristol, Tennessee Hard Rock Cafe. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
Okay.
Possible.
Look, it's a deal. It's a deal. I don't know how much we can draw. So if you can guarantee that you and 50 of your friends are there, we might have a deal.
I don't know if I can guarantee that. I don't have 50 friends yet. But
Get talking. Get
but no,
talking to people at that restaurant. Okay, Cal. Yes.
I wanted to ask you though, if you had a place that you discovered, or did you kind of, yeah, do you have a place that's around you in the past 10 or so years that you discovered that you didn't know was there, that was actually a good restaurant?
Yeah, my favorite restaurant well, you're saying that I didn't know was there. There's some of those that I have and I kind of want to go back or forget to go to. But I hope it answers your question. There was a restaurant that for years I drove by, and we were like, "Hey, we should try that." And then it was like, "Oh, yeah. We'll get there. And then I went there, and it's my favorite restaurant. I know I love Smokehouse and all that stuff, but it's my favorite meal. It's called Something Vegan in Toluca Lake, California, and it is an unassuming, like, converted house into a restaurant, family owned, and it's vegan, like Thai food to kind of describe it. It's Thai food based, and it's just delightful. And every time I go there, I'm like, how did I not go here for years? And I love it.
Well, yeah, well, that's kind of that's some of those places too. I've got some that I've passed or know of, heard
Mm,
about, been to, and this place, finding this place made me think about that. I might want to go out and try the other stuff. Because
well,
like I was saying, what?
Cal, you got to because you got to get 50 friends, and then Mark Ellis and I will come. So you got to go make friends at new restaurants.
Uh, Solely make me the draw for what
Yeah.
brings you. You can't rely on me and my 50 non-existent friends.
Okay. All
But
right.
I do want to tell 89, 84, Brady real quick. I do want to tell you,
Say Brady. It's easier. Yeah.
yeah, it is easier, especially when you've been drinking a little bit. 89, 84 M. Anyway, uh,
This ain't
yeah.
water, Cal.
Well, oh yeah, and you're drinking beer tonight, yeah. And that is change. I don't think you've ever drank a beer unless you was on the Wanger show, maybe. But anyway.
Yeah, the Wangers. That's the only time I really drink beer normally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drinking White Claws. But no, I just want to tell Brady said something about he's like, I need tell me how to mingle. I can't tell you how to mingle, man. You just have to go out
Okay.
there
Well, yeah,
and
yeah,
be.
you're right. You're right, Cal. But are you a good mingler?
I don't know. I mean, I go like because I do, like I said, I don't have 50 friends, so I'll go to the bars and
But
I'll
not
hang out and I'll interject myself in conversation, but I won't come up and just do it. It has to be
okay.
subtle.
All right, that's fair. See, I was having a conversation with Josh McCouga. We actually were on the phone the other day, and Josh is the king of minglers. And he was at a wedding not too long ago, like 2 weekends ago, and he's like, I just owned that wedding. I had people, big industry people, come up to me and was like, "Who are you? Like, what do you do? You're just the best." And he was like, "I'd like to start a business where I just you pay me to show up to your party and liven it up."
Yeah.
Um, so I know you don't have that maybe desire or energy, Cal, but it seems to me you're so easy to talk to, and you're
Well,
so unencumbered by inhibition sometimes that I just wonder if you'd be a good professional party mingler.
Well, there have been a couple of parties that have went very well. Well, I came in and the party was kind of dour, and I did kind of liven up a little
You
bit.
turned
But
it around.
yeah, but that was a couple. Then there's been a few
Okay.
that where I
Okay.
came and kind of ruined it. But that was me in a different phase of my life, and I
Sure.
did jail well.
Laser
But that
Bolt. Well, hold on. Laser Bolt of the channel Forest Meets says Cal might not have 50 friends, but I bet everyone knows him. Is that true?
actually, actually, that is accurate, Laser Bolt. Not only because I mean I do have acquaintances and stuff, and people know me, but I'm in Tennessee, in my part of Tennessee, and where I live at, there's not a whole lot of black people. So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people
Okay.
do know me. They know me.
Okay. Maybe hopefully for all the good reasons, but yeah.
Yes, and some of the bad.
So
But yeah,
8984M says, you're telling me I got to channel my inner New York and just talk to everyone like I know them. I think that's how it works.
yeah, that's pretty much it. You don't get because if you go up to some if you try to mingle and meet people and whatever, you don't want to if they're going to sense the nervousness from you. It
Yeah.
pours out.
You
If
got
you
to be,
just go and be casual and have casual talk like you belong, it's kind of that one of those things like act like you belong there. If you
yes.
act like you belong there, I think you'll be.
Here's, Cal, when you and I write our party book, I'm calling this planned effortlessness, where it's
Yeah.
just, it looks so normal, but even though it's maybe intentional. Cal, I love this stuff. 2 minutes left. I got to close the show, but I
All
appreciate
right.
you, buddy.
Well, you have a good weekend, rest of your weekend, Ken, and I might see you Thursday if you have a show.
All right. Channeling
Buddy.
Cal here. All right. Thank you, Cal. Appreciate you, buddy. Uh, David says it right. Fly casual, but not too casual. Brady, that's how you do parties. That's how you do parties. Look, there's sometimes I show up to a party and I don't want any of it. Other times I know I'm going in there. That wedding I went to in the fall, October, Sully and Jill's wedding. I just knew Mark Ellis and Mark and I talked about it in our hotel suite. We were there to show the kids how to do it, and we had a great time. So sometimes it is, you just got to turn it on. I want to shout out Laserbolt. This is big news. This is breaking news here. Laserbolt, thank you for the generous super chat. Says, thanks to your support, I reached 4,000 watch hours today. Thanks, buddy. You're the best. That is amazing news. If you guys are not followed or subscribed to Laserbolt videos, please do it. Drop that link here in chat while we're still live, Laserbolt. This is great news. He has Friday night flights where he does his flight simulator stuff live with his pals, and they fly around. And it's just a relaxing watch. It's a fun watch. And then he's got some great videos, comedy videos, the May 4th videos he puts out, got drone footage. It's a hodgepodge, which is why the next phase of this channel, Laserbolt, is a playlist. Give me at least a playlist, Laserbolt, that's just titled Forest Meets. All right. I know maybe you're a little apprehension on launching a Forest Meets channel, because then you're a slave to the content. I get it. But I want a playlist on your channel that's Forest Meets, and let's see what it does. But Laserbolt, that's awesome. That is awesome. All right, the timer went off in my ears, which means the calls are done. We are out of here. We'll be back Monday. I am going to do probably an hour on Monday. Producer Steve will be available. It is a holiday. It is Memorial Day. Make sure to take a moment to remember those who, went out and fought for this country, fought for you, and paid the ultimate sacrifice. That's part of the day as well. Sean had some great things to say that on Thursday's show. But also it is the day to celebrate and connect with those around you if you want, or you could just stay inside and relax as well. But Steve and I are going to do a show, so we'll take some calls to the big show next Thursday. I'm trying to lock down. We have maybe the great Wii Sports debate coming. Trying to lock that down as well with our buddy Scotty J. Rowe. So I appreciate you all. A lot of fun. Thank you for the generous super chats. Really appreciate all of you. We'll see you next time here on the show that has a theme song. There it is. All right, everybody. Bye.